Dolphins fans. I am Will Scott. Welcome in to Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. We got some news to hit on today's show. Connor Williams is holding out. He was absent from mandatory minicamp today. Of course, he missed OTAs, but OTAs are technically voluntary. Mandatory minicamp is something you got to be at. He is not there. Cameron Wolfe tweeting this out this morning. Dolphins center Connor Williams won't be at minicamp today, and it isn't an excused absence, per head coach Mike McDaniel. Remember when we were all in elementary school and we got excused absences and unexcused absences? This is not an excused absence. Williams, who is entering the final year of his contract, might be holding out, says Cameron Wolfe, and I think Connor Williams is holding out because he's hoping to get a new contract. He signed a 2-year, $14 million deal with the Dolphins last offseason, so he has 1 year and $7 million left on his current deal. And he made the switch from guard to center last offseason. I think exceeded a lot of our expectations, playing the center position, the fourth-rated center on PFF in 2022 with a 78.5 grade. Williams is the only player not at minicamp. Now, we saw some guys miss OTAs, but again, OTAs are voluntary, so some of those guys we did not see at OTAs, they're at minicamp, except for Connor Williams. He is the only player not at minicamp right now, and I think him being there is not great. It disrupts the offensive line. I mean, those off-season reps you get at camp are so important, especially for the offensive line. They're trying to get better. They're trying to protect Tua, so Tua is taking snaps at OTAs or at minicamp, at OTAs as well, I guess, because Connor Williams wasn't there either, with the guy that's probably not going to be a starting center this season. That's just not good, and it disrupts the offensive line. Do you want to extend Connor Williams? Do you think Connor Williams deserves an extension? Type E for extend or type P for pass down in the comments section. It is the pinned comment on today's video, so I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Go down and reply when you get a second, E for extend or P for pass. If he does get extended, here's what we're looking at here in terms of how much money he could possibly get. Jason Kelce is the highest paid center in the National Football League based on average annual value. So Jason Kelce of the Eagles, well-deserved in terms of him being the highest paid center in the league at $14.3 million. Frank Ragnow with the Lions at $13.5. Ryan Jensen with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a name we talked about before he re-signed with Tampa Bay last offseason, $13 million. Corey Linsley at $12.5 million. Ryan Kelly, $12.4 million. And then the list rounds out with Eric McCoy, Rodney Hudson, Brian Allen, some other names here that are featured in it, top 10 highest paid centers. So Williams probably going to try to get, I would say, in the top 6 range in terms of the contract that he's looking for. However, it's hard to give Connor Williams a big payday when he's only played 1 year at his current position. When you're talking about extending a guy, putting a lot of money toward a certain player, you want to see multiple years of him being successful at that position. Williams has only played 1 year at center, and yeah, he certainly improved throughout the year. He was a top 5 center according to PFF last season, but still, the Dolphins want to make sure that he can sustain that success over the next couple of years, or at least this next season before they pay him. So that's kind of the dilemma that Chris Grier has right now. Do you want to make Connor Williams a top 5 highest paid center in the league when he's only played that position for 1 year? That's what Chris Grier and the Dolphins are going to have to figure out right now with Connor Williams missing mandatory minicamp. You can go bet on the NBA Finals at BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. That's the promo code, Dolphins125, to pick up a 125% deposit bonus. That means if you put $100 into your account, you're going to start with $225. It's a great deal. Go and take advantage of it. Maybe just put all that money on Heat money line tomorrow night, because I think Miami's going to get it done. Tyler Hero might be coming back. I would love that. The Heat, again, just being disrespected by Vegas here. They're a 2.5-point dog against Denver. Speaking of dogs, I just feel like Miami, they kind of have, the dog in them. Denver just doesn't. I think Miami's going to win this series in 6 games. Producer Coop is laughing, but the Heat are winning the series. I have absolutely nothing writing on it, by the way. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Dolphins125. Let's just say that I might have used some of that BetUS bonus money on Miami to win the finals. Let's get into some free agent centers that might be available here, or that are available, that the Dolphins might look at if Connor Williams continues to miss camp, because they can't go too long without having a legit center here on this roster. So Ben Jones is still out there available. He's a name we've talked about. I really, really like him. He's had some concussion concerns, had 2 concussions, I believe, last year, but he's had a lot of success in the National Football League. Pat Eflin played last season with the Panthers. Nick Martin, he's a name. And then Jake Lucina, USFL, best center in the USFL. How about you bring Jake Lucina to Miami? And then how about this name? Haven't said his name on this show in over a year, producer Coop. J.C. Treader, J.C. to Miami. How about you bring J.C. Treader out of retirement? I guess he went on the Pat McAfee show a couple weeks ago, though, and he looks like he's down about 50 pounds. So good for J.C., but I don't know if he's going to be wanting to come out of retirement. Taking a look at the Dolphins' offensive line, Teron Armstead, your left tackle. He's at minicamp. Liam Eichenberg is the left guard. Williams as the center. Robert Hunt is the right guard. Isaiah Wynn and Austin Jackson competing for that right tackle spot. So you only have really one guy right now behind Connor Williams, and that's Dan Feeney. So when they signed him, he's more of a guard. So this is problematic that Williams is not at minicamp after missing OTAs. If you want to extend Connor Williams, here's what I think could make sense. A reworked 2-year contract around $20 million total that has a smaller cap number could make sense. What do I mean by smaller cap number? I mean a big signing bonus and a big roster bonus. Because, again, Connor Williams has only played center for a year. I think that he has certainly the potential to have another good year this upcoming year, but I don't know if they're going to want to make him a top 3 or 4 highest paid center in the league after just 1 year at that position. So I think a reworked 2-year contract, not a 2-year extension necessarily, but a reworked 2-year deal. So his deal would expire after the conclusion of the 2024 season. He'd get around $20 million total the next 2 years. But let's say this next year, his center doesn't go well, the Dolphins have an easy out. That's the deal that I think makes sense for Miami. And let's say he gets $10 million this year, $10 million next year. He's set to make $7 million. So you'd be giving him a $3 million raise. I think he would take that. We're almost to 42,000 subscribers. We just need 5 more. Come on, let's get there by the end of the day. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 42,000 subscribers. If you love the Fins, you have come to the right place. Hit that sub button. Taking a look at some extension candidates, these are some guys we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. Wilkins is at minicamp. He deserves to get paid. Sealer's at minicamp. He deserves to get paid. Hunt's at minicamp. Williams is the only Dolphin not at minicamp. And look, I get it. He wants to get paid. But so does Wilkins. So does Sealer. So does Hunt. They're there. They're at minicamp. Wilkins, I think, needs to be the top priority in terms of an extension here. And he is at minicamp. So, look, I'm not going to necessarily say it's a bad look that Williams is not there. Like, I completely get it. Like, he doesn't want to risk injury at camp. He wants to get a payday. I understand that. But it would be nice to have him out there for sure. Who should be extended first out of those guys? Let me know down in the comments section. I wouldn't be surprised if a Williams extension is in the near future. Mike McDaniel did say that they're hoping to figure things out. He didn't say figure things out toward an extension, but I'm guessing that's what he meant. But I think Christian Wilkins needs to be the top priority when you're talking about an extension on this Dolphins team. Let's get into our next story now because Albert Breer reported in Sports Illustrated yesterday that the Dolphins were close to a Dalvin Cook deal in March. Here is what he said. Minnesota and Miami came very close to a trade that would have made Cook a Dolphin back in March. He's a Dolphin. And what's interesting about the deal that fell apart then is how the vision the team trading for him details with how the team trading him away sees him. Come on, Albert. Typo there. Would Miami still be interested? Maybe, though, that desire for a big playback was, at least to some degree, addressed in the 3rd round of the draft with the ultra-explosive Texas A&M running back Devon Achane coming in. We kind of already knew this. It was trending on Twitter a little bit yesterday. Everyone's retweeting it. I'm like, we kind of already knew the Dolphins and the Vikes were close to a deal back in March. This is not new news, but it just adds to the speculation that maybe Miami will try to revisit those trade talks here for Dalvin Cook. And Barry Jackson, who's very much in the know with Fins, works for Miami Herald, says it's a real possibility that Dalvin Cook will be a member of the Miami Dolphins. Certainly a story to follow here in the coming weeks. Taking a look at some possible destinations, I do believe the Dolphins are the top spot for Dalvin Cook. Some other names that were showcased on our NFL Daily Show over on our main channel yesterday were the Dallas Cowboys, the Chicago Bears, the Buffalo Bills. I feel like the Bills right up there with the Dolphins in terms of a possible Cook destination. His brother plays for them. And then the New England Patriots as well. So Cook could be bound for the AFC East, even if he doesn't go to the Dolphins. Where will Cook play in 2023? Let me know down in the comments section. Is he a Dolphin or not? What do you think? Down in the comments. Let me know. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to have you covered on this Connor Williams situation. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.